Brudslöjan, Storlien. This little road was a walking trail to the top part of the waterfall, and further up the mountains as well. This is not the best place to see the waterfall. You can see it better on the further down part, after the first parking space. According to our common, the waterfall is on the Norwegian side of the border to Sweden, just west of Storlien. And according to another website called Brudslöjan, the border of Norway and Sweden is where the water starts falling. The waterfall itself is about 24 meters tall. It's called Brudslöjan, or the bridal veil in English, because the waterfall winds its way up the cliff face and through the forest like a bridal veil. Me and my father took the shortcut to the waterfall since we didn't really know there was a walking trail to it. According to our comment, there's supposed to be a walking trail leading to the waterfall. There was this small trail leading to the waterfall that we took instead of the marked walking trail. There were a few branches we had to avoid, and some parts of the trail was muddy. The waterfall was right next to the road, so it was not that hard to find. So here's some information from Wikipedia about the waterfall. The water comes from the area around Storlien, with lakes such as Sonner and Nordsjön, Storlien and Klevjan. Below the falls in the west lies the lake, Brudslejjan. Brudslejjan is located in a narrow canyon formation through which the meltwater lakes of the Ice Age were successively drained in various stages, including the so-called Tevlin and Storlienjorna. The canyon is assumed to have been carved partly by many glacial lake withdrawals, partly by meltwater finding its way to the ground under the perhaps kilometer-thick inland ice along the Rift Valley. That the country was pressed down by the thick ice cap also meant that this mountain area formed a coastal slope towards the Atlantic, whose Gulf Stream heat could melt away the ice and snow cover there, and provide verdant bare ground where animals such as reindeer and mammoth grazed during the summers in the area a few miles above Jamtland. Even during the Ice Age, for 10,000 years, there are steps on the cliff along the entire height of the drop. On one of the cliffs hangs in late summer flowering stands of a stately plant, Saxifraga cotyledon protected. The case can also be viewed from the Norwegian side via hiking from Hotel. That's the information I gathered on the waterfall from Wikipedia. There isn't much info about the waterfall itself. Most things I can find about this place is about the walking trail to it. Though, from what I gathered from visiting the waterfall, it was very slippery/wet around the waterfall. This is expected, but it's a warning to those who don't think about the surroundings of the waterfall and plans to visit. If you do plan to visit, be careful if you take the same trail me and my father took. We fell a few times, but I won't show it on video because I don't feel like embarrassing myself online. The waterfall is a beautiful sight to see, and it looks bigger in person than it looks on video. Be careful and respectful. Also, that's the road. Anyways, so, the waterfall is not that well seen from the road, but you can still kind of see it from up there. Walking to the waterfall was like walking through wet moss, so I was slowly sinking when I stood still without realizing it. I also visited stores in Storlien, but I didn't record it. Damn, even the text-to-speech guy got upset over that. Anyway, here's a hole in the rocks I saw. There wasn't much, but just a hole. It might have been a few rocks badly stacked in each other. I realized when I visited Norway that there's quite a lot of mountains everywhere, and the place I visited had people living on pretty much the walls of the mountains. Since there isn't much to say, I'll give you some information about how waterfalls are made. Here is National Geographic's explanation. A waterfall is a river or other body of water's steep fall over a rocky ledge into a plunge pool below. Waterfalls are also called cascades. The process of erosion, the wearing away of earth, plays an important part in the formation of waterfalls. Waterfalls themselves also contribute to erosion. Often, waterfalls form as streams flow from soft rock to hard rock. This happens both laterally, as a stream flows across the earth, and vertically, as the stream drops in a waterfall. In both cases, the soft rock erodes, leaving a hard ledge over which the stream falls. A fall line is the imaginary line along which parallel rivers plunge as they flow from uplands to lowlands. Many waterfalls in an area help geologists and hydrologists determine a region's fall line and underlying rock structure. As a stream flows, it carries sediment. The sediment can be microscopic silt, pebbles, or even boulders. Sediment can erode stream beds made of soft rock, such as sandstone or limestone. Eventually, the stream's channel cuts so deep into the stream bed that only a harder rock, such as granite, remains. Waterfalls develop as these granite formations form cliffs and ledges. A stream's velocity increases as it nears a waterfall, increasing the amount of erosion taking place. The movement of water at the top of a waterfall can erode rocks to be very flat and smooth. Rushing water and sediment topple over the waterfall, eroding the plunge pool at the base. The crashing flow of the water may also create powerful whirlpools that erode the rock of the plunge pool beneath them. The resulting erosion at the base of a waterfall can be very dramatic and cause the waterfall to recede. The area behind the waterfall is worn away, creating a hollow, cave-like structure called a rock shelter. Eventually, the rocky ledge, called the outcropping, may tumble down, sending boulders into the stream bed and plunge pool below. This causes the waterfall to recede many meters upstream. The waterfall erosion process starts again, breaking down the boulders of the former outcropping. Erosion is just one process that can form waterfalls. A waterfall may form across a fault or crack in the Earth's surface. An earthquake, landslide, glacier, or volcano may also disrupt stream beds and help create waterfalls. That was National Geographic. Now here's what Wikipedia has to say about waterfalls. A waterfall is any point in a river or stream where water flows over a vertical drop or a series of steep drops. Waterfalls also occur where meltwater drops over the edge of a tabular iceberg or ice shelf. Waterfalls can be formed in several ways, but the most common method of formation is that a river courses over a top layer of resistant bedrock before falling on a softer rock, which erodes faster, leading to an increasingly high fall. Waterfalls have been studied for their impact on species living in and around them. Humans have had a distinct relationship with waterfalls since prehistory, traveling to see them, exploring, and naming them. They can present formidable barriers to navigation along rivers. Waterfalls are religious sites in many cultures. Since the 18th century, they have received increased attention as tourist destinations, sources of hydropower, and particularly since the mid-20th century, as subjects of research. Waterfalls are commonly formed in the upper course of a river where lakes flow into valleys and steep mountains. A river sometimes flows over a large step in the rocks that may have been formed by a fault line. Waterfalls can occur along the edge of a glacial trough, where a stream or river flowing into a glacier continues to flow into a valley after the glacier has receded or melted. There's way more info on what waterfalls are and how they are formed than info on the waterfall I visited. Understandable. Either way, I found berries that apparently were edible. First we have crockbar, or Epitrum nigrum, crowberry, black crowberry, or in western Alaska, blackberry. Then I found lingen or Vaccinium viticidea, lingonberry, partridgeberry mountain cranberry, cowberry. Then we got blueberry. That's it, thank you.